Welcome back to Cinders. We have just left to the forest. We are escaping. And here's the shady character. Blasted liars. Schemers everywhere. Naive like little children. I swear it on me hat hair. Y'all gonna pay dearly for all your miss. Oi! Easy there, lady. You might give old Shady a heart stopper. Never getting tired of those big entrances, eh? Always loved a good drama, you lot. Never got used to it myself. You have entered our domain. What do you want? Easy with the drama already. Don't you... I mean you no harm, honest. Was just wandering, you see? Whatever happened to witty little bird that got all you gals so agitated, gals so agitated recently? Heard you made some long-term investment in her, too. You speak of things which do not concern you. They don't. I thought I did a mighty fine job fetching and whispering and basically being in all the right places at the right moment. Wouldn't dream about stealing the light from you gals, but doesn't a supportive actor deserve some fresh rumors right from the source? Very well. Know then that all went well, and the girl picked up the thread of fate where her mother left it. We have renewed the concord, and the cycle will resume. We found the girl to be much like her mother. She remembered and embraced the gift of the lake. She accepted the weight and agreed to pay the price. Offered her one of your special favors, did you, love? Yes. Ha ha, you gals are killing me. Be calm at our sanctuary, or we shall speak no more. Oh, pardon, ma'am. I just have this medical condition, see? It makes me cringe and twitch, and I hear crazy, and you gals are the craziest. From what I gathered, the bird accepted no weight. Hard to fly with the weight, see? And flying's all she wants, that one. No, my dear lady's fancy dress or no dress, she wouldn't have reached the prince or king or whatever she wanted. Much too driven and independent to be intimidated by titles, she is. She received our aid and succeeded. Not really, no. She was already a winner when you lot decided to have a little chat with her, and then another and mess with her head and dull her wit. But she's much too sharp, that one. Say, ever thought maybe 'twas her who used you, love, climbed your schemes like a ladder to reach her own goal? Her blood called, and she responded. She performed rites and honored the lake. She's maturing, see, and memory means nothing then. In time she'll forget all about you, or take you for a mirage or dream. Darn, I'm not so sure if you're real myself. You are mistaken, old man. Memory is everything. She will remember and honor the agreement. She is just like her mother. Ah, poor woman that one, eh? So wise, faithful, and devoted to your ways she was. Pity you didn't care that much for her. Some would call killing an ugly way of saying thanks. And not the nicest thing to do to someone who loved you so much, eh, gals? There aren't that many of those around anymore, am I right? Silence! Begone, old snake. You have disturbed our domain far too long. Ooh, impressive trick, just like in olden days. Still have some vigor left in you, I see. I must have hit your sweet spot. I always wondered, why didn't any of the good kings chop your woods for forges and houses? Must have something to do with your charming personality, eh? You are not welcome here. We wish to be left alone. Well, don't worry and save your strength, love, 'cause soon no one will be disturbing you anymore, and you will be alone. All alone. Glass slipper. Cool. Ending. Finding happiness and freedom in her own birthplace was not meant to be for Cinders. Sick of her life and her stepmother's games, she decided that the only way to find peace is to escape the town and start her life over. though her travels don't spare her hardships, she finds the sense of her newly found freedom invigorating and is ready to take whatever life throws her way. At least she's not alone. Captain Perrault decided to leave his old life of duty and take his chance by escaping with a curious girl he hardly knows. They become a pair of adventurers, living a short but intense life that will be laden with tales, lauded with tales and songs for years to come. She thinks of her own old family sometimes, but receives no news about their circumstances. She can't help but wonder what happened to Lady Carmosa and her daughters. These moments of nostalgia quickly pass, though, when she realizes that she lives a new life now, one that would be impossible if she decided to stay. Cool. But it doesn't tell us what her price is. I guess they lived short lives. Okay. How do I get there? What's happening? Oh, it just takes forever. Okay. I'm like, do we get a freaking... For looking fabulous on the grand ball, you are awarded with a ball dress. Okay. That must be some steam things. Why is this so slow? What the frick? For escaping to live the life of a traveler, you are awarded with the glass slipper. Okay, so rewards. Oh, wow. Holy crap! So you can discover all these different paths. For goodness sakes. Well, as promised, I'm going to look at some different endings. But I might skip through a lot of the dialogue. Actually, I can load it when she's at the lake, I believe. She has 3 choices at the lake, and then I don't know how many choices she'd have with Lady Guide or Madame Guide. Maybe 3 as well. Okay. Let's go for the prince. That should be fun. Okay, making the prince fall for me now, wouldn't that be a blow to Carmosa's ego? Even being at the ball, not to mention making a good impression, would send a clear message to my dear family. Shouldn't be difficult to achieve. Your voice is clear and firm. It sounds like your mother's when she sang for us. Does it? Then it means that she knew how to mask her insecurities as well. I don't know if this will work. It probably won't. But look at it this way. If I flee the town like some criminal, there's still going to be time for that. What? If I'm to flee the town like some criminal, there's still going to be time for that. And what kind of life is that anyway? And taking the residents back from Carmosa, I admit it sounds wonderful, but let's be honest, it's not going to happen. Carmosa keeps it tightly and won't let it go. That's just the kind of woman she is, and I have to say, even if I can respect that. So the truth is, this ball may be my only chance to significantly change my life. It must succeed. Mortal lives are dull and narrow, or tumultuous and broad, but what they are depends on one's skill only. Grasping fate. Decisions alone mean little, and fate is like a frame waiting for the picture to be painted. It is only when the two meet that great things are accomplished. Only, how am I going to get to the royal palace? That's the hard part. Oh, sorry. That was Cinderella. Apart from the small detail. Okay, so we've read some of this stuff. What am I going to wear? Seductive nature. Trust in the lake. Come to us before the ball. You sound so secretive. Trust me like your mother. My mother. You're not going to answer me no matter what I say, but fine. Indeed, embrace your fate. You'll have no trouble. The plan is set. Thank you. Thinking about her mum. Alrighty. Okay, I don't know how much of this is repeat. Okay, so she's talking about the memories in her house. Oh, she said, am I delusional? Can I really get the attention of the prince? Am I really that special or attractive? I may be just a bold plan. It may be the first sign of mental degradation. On the other hand, he might be a spoiled brat. He might torture small animals for all I know. Princes are allowed to do anything, right? It's too late for doubts and other what-ifs, though. I've made my decision. And if I want to get anything, I need to stick to it. That is my only chance at success. Alright, enough of this. Okay. I'm trying to read what's new. I don't want to do too much repeating. I'm going to skip this part because you guys have seen it all. This won't change. Okay. I think this part is no different too. Okay, we're back to Cinders. And I don't think much of this is different. Okay. Okay, yeah, none of that was different. Okay, I don't think this will be different either. You are late. I know, I'm sorry. Okay, so we knew that part. This might not be different either. This might be exactly the same. I wish there was a way to skip all the stuff you've seen. Okay, I'll pause it here. This one is no different. Okay, here Cinderella goes to the palace. This might not be different either. Good evening, you guys. Good evening, my lady. Good evening, my lady. I'm late, sorry. Everything is awesome here. Whatever. Whatever. Talking about stuff. I think maybe none of this changes. Huh, maybe this is all the same. Yeah. But maybe she doesn't leave so quickly. Let's get to them dancing. Okay. This is just so funny, the way they're all like close. And they both look totally different. I can't believe she asks what he thinks of her chest. Okay, he's complimenting her eyes. Okay, I guess nothing is different. Huh, okay. Well, now I know I'll skip through that one the next time. I bet this is all the same too. And I bet this is all the same as well. Oh, I'm positive it's not the same. Okay, so here's what we've come to. Your Highness, this is the girl. Thank you, Perrault. Welcome to the palace, my lady. I trust the captain explained everything on your way here. Yes, he did, although it doesn't make it any easier to believe. Needless modesty, my lady. You certainly weren't this bashful making your entrance during the ball. In that dress, and of course the mask, I felt like I was wearing armor. I was impervious to the looks and judgment of other people. Now I'm back to my old self in rags and don't offer the same protection. Suddenly I feel like an ordinary girl standing before a prince. Ordinary is hardly among the traits you possess, which makes you exactly the person I was looking for. So there's nothing more to say but simply pop the question, as ordinary people say. Do you agree, my lady? Geez, I can't believe he did. Wow. I can't believe he would just. Wow. Oh my, is it hot in here? No, I have to ask to be sure. Agree to what, my prince? Do you agree to become my wife and the queen of the realm? Do you realize that selecting the right candidate was the purpose of the grand ball? Yes, I realize that. It's simply very difficult to believe, but oh heavens, yes, of course I agree. How could I refuse? Very well. You are making me a very happy man indeed. A word of warning, though. I'm expecting my reign to be a rather turbulent one. Not all will welcome the changes I planned with open arms. We'll be facing upheavals, I'm afraid. It means I will be needing support, counsel, and criticism from a strong and independent queen. I'm afraid I'm not really an expert on political matters. I've read some books, but... Oh, I feel so silly. Just a few hours ago, it felt like I had it all figured out, and now I'm standing here babbling like a lunatic. I hope you know what you're doing, choosing me for the part, my prince. Right now, I'm nothing more than an awestruck servant girl. I mean, I don't even know you, your highness, and I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into. But for what it's worth, I agree and promise to do my best. Ha! You worry too much, my lady. Your reaction gives you more credit than you realize. Don't worry, you'll become a great queen, I'm certain of it. Huh. That was quick. I can't believe he just popped the question. Wow. Do marriages like that really happen? I guess if they're like arranged or something. I guess some of this will be different, huh? Okay. I thought he said something about her running away or something. Here we go. Oh. No. I feel like, what's the point of his character, and why bring him back right now? Yeah, I don't think any of this is different. She's all like, get out of here. Okay, royal tiara. I achieved that. Super. As in the stories of old, Cinder's charms and wits helped her in getting the heart of the future king. Cinders becomes a mild and gentle woman known for her beauty, kind heart, and love of peace, a pretty jewel on the royal crown, but not much more. While she is adored by her people, she's not strong or decisive enough to give her husband the support he needs to push forward with his reforms. That's messed up. With the Prince Basil unable to reach his plans, the situation in the kingdom stagnates and eventually turns for the worse. True love never sprouts between the king and the queen, as she yearns for the affection of a noble captain of the guard. Captain Perrault finally accepts his king's offer to become the master spy and to stay closer to Cinders and protect her. They eventually become lovers. This doesn't go unnoticed by the court and the king, but he values Perrault too much to take it on any action. Ultimately, the king distances himself more and more from Cinders and the court. Cinders often feels lost in her new role, but whenever she's stumped, she secretly sneaks out of the palace and comes to the lake to seek the fairy's advice. Rumors about the queen's mystical connections and sixth sense quickly spread throughout the kingdom. The court life fully absorbs Cinders, and she loses contact with her old family. Lady Carmosa and her daughters never visit the palace. From what the young queen heard, the situation in the household turns for the worse after her stepmother's bitter defeat. They live their lives in seclusion, isolated from the rest of the noble society. Years later, Cinders and her sisters meet at Lady Carmosa's funeral. They don't exchange a single word. Wow, what a crappy ending. And I guess if I hadn't, talked to him and flirted with him or whatever, he just wouldn't, I bet that wouldn't have happened, and he wouldn't be someone she had an affair with. What a crappy ending. I don't like it. Oh, she has a little crown. Cool. Okay. So let's try another ending. Going back and changing that deal with Perrault would take, or Captain Scarbuckle, whatever, would take so long. And I do not want to do that. Okay, I'm going to skip. Oh, wait, no, I'm not going to skip this part. I'll retake the residence. If I'm ever going to be happy, I need to become truly independent. And independence comes from status, prestige, and social standing. I learned that from Carmosa herself. That's why I'm going to take her place. Only then I can turn my house into a place where I can live happily. Carmosa may seem cool and collected, but she is truly desperate. The family finances are in ruin. She knows her time to give up her daughters. She knows her time to give her daughters a good position, and life is running out. If only I could solve the money problem, she would realize that I'm far better suited to be the lady of the house than she is. Recently, I've learned that the house is really all she cares about. All she ever does is aimed at the good of the family and securing the future of her daughters, and that means becoming someone of significance in the eyes of others. So, all I need to do is make the money problems disappear. That would be the first step toward lifting the house into greatness one more time. You are speaking of dirt and cold metal, little things with no meaning to the lake. Dirt and cold metal? Metal figures. I wouldn't expect the little folk to care about money and reputation. Maybe I should talk to Tobias about this. He's certainly an expert on financial matters. Although I guess earning enough money won't be easy. Besides, there's also the matter of the family's reputation. Yes, I definitely need to talk with Tobias. He should know what to do. So it seems your path has been decided. Yes, it looks like I have a plan now. Okay, that one's not new. Okay. Okay, I think that none of this is probably different. Yeah, all of this is the same. Okay. I guess we go on to Tobias now. I have no idea whether this plan is going to work. I have nothing to lose, though. And a life to gain. I need to see this through to have any chance at it. I hope Carmosa doesn't manage to ruin it. Let's avoid the next random meeting with her, shall we? And let's stop addressing myself as plural or speaking to myself altogether. Speaking to oneself is a bad sign, isn't it? Speaking to Tobias should help with that, as well as with a couple of other things. This is going to be a long talk. If anyone can find a solution to this money conundrum, it's him. He really has a good business head on those shoulders of his. Oh, I hope he can come up with something. Cinders, it's good to see you again. He still has a crush on her. I swear, whatever Lady Carmosa is doing to keep you indoors, it clearly isn't working. I think that she could have had a thing with him, too. You have no idea, but today's a bit different. Big changes are coming, Tobias. I came to speak to you about something very important. Yes, I can see that. Tell me, what's going on? I came to ask you for advice on business matters. Really? Now, this is something I honestly did not expect. Although I won't deny that it's a subject I feel very comfortable with. What do you need? You know, I'm not on the best terms with my stepmother, and how easy is it for her to turn my life into hell on earth? Yes, I've noticed. Then I guess you've also noticed that she has her mind fixed on two things she values in life: family and status. Everything she ever does aims at strengthening one or the other, or both. All else is expendable. Lady Carmosa is an ambitious and driven woman. I must give her that. Not only that, she also respects, and in the case of her daughters, requires those qualities from others. I think that's oddly worded. I think I'm beginning to see where this is going, but please continue. I have no doubts about you being able to grasp my subtle plans. The point is, Carmosa's troubled. The family has financial problems, and her daughters aren't the social predators she designed them to be. She's getting desperate and clumsy, and above all, she could really use some help. Since she won't be receiving any from her daughters, she might as well accept it from the one who's always been a thorn in her side. Precisely. If I could solve our money problems, just imagine her astonishment. Her illusions about Gloria being able to successfully take her place someday would vanish immediately, or at least she should start considering alternatives, making her recognize a much more suitable candidate for the job. Yes, the question is, how do you do it? How do you make a noble house successful? This is much more complicated than just solving money problems, Cinders. If you were a client asking me for advice on the matter, I'd ask you to pay me extra. Let's talk about that when I'm a lady of a newly restored powerful house, shall we? Yes, let's. What I mean is, solving money problems is one thing. This can usually be done by selling things. If you have something that can be sold, then investing the money where profit can be made, and finally paying for your debts, if there are any, and landing safely with a nice stable inflow. Sounds very romantic. But restoring a noble house to its former glory, this is a much more complex issue. From what I gathered about noble families, their influence, prestige, and power lies almost entirely on the perceptions of others. If a house is respected, considered prestigious, and the words of its head are deemed influential, it is only because other houses agree that it should be so. The grand ball may be happening every few decades, okay, but the masquerade goes on every single day. You may describe it like that. The point is that there are rules to this game of perceptions. Power and status may be illusions, but they are not arbitrary. So what are the rules? That's my concern. I'm not really an expert on such things. I'm just a common merchant, not a courtier. With your wits, I'm sure you could come up with something. Flattery? How very high-born of you. Maybe you're already on the right track to glory. From what a humble shopkeeper can tell you, building prestige is all about parties and societal events. Always having the right kind of people visiting you on a regular basis so that they can be described as friends of the family. So I guess friends with the prince might be considered an asset. Ha! Nah, the princes aren't very fashionable this season. I'm hearing dukes and viceroys are all the craze nowadays. Wait, you're serious? Of course I am. Think about the ball. If I manage to get inside and speak to the prince, I'm sure befriending him won't be difficult. But how will you get inside? Isn't that dangerous? Also, what makes you think he'll like you? I mean, not that you're not likable or anything, but what if he's a dick, was he going to say? Relax, Tobias. Just think, this is my moment. It's probably my one chance in a lifetime to simply approach him and talk. I wanted to go to the ball anyway. I might as well use it to advance my plan. But there will be guards. It's a royal event, and it isn't some party you simply crash. Trust me, I will have aid. Why did that sound so ominous? Also, just look at my options. It's the best chance I have to solve my money problems, impress Carmosa, and finally change my life. I think you get too emotional about this. Try seeing it in terms of losses and gains. You're right, of course, you're right. I still think it's risky, but it's surely an opportunity not to be missed. If you actually can befriend the prince himself, then you should be right on track. It won't immediately solve your money problem, though. In time, maybe. If you play it right, you could gain honors and even some land of an actual of monetary value. But to increase your chances and capitalize on the ball, you should follow up with some parties of your own. Invite the right people, make a lasting impression. And that's a problem. Organizing a posh party like that requires money I don't have. Yes, that's what I was getting to. To solve your money problem, you would need money. Social connections are going to get you only so far. Especially in the beginning. You don't want to become a meaningless flavor of the month. Then I'm in a rut. I need money to make money, which I don't have. I suppose this is not going to be easy, otherwise Carmosa would do it herself. Yes, however, you have one important asset she doesn't have. Namely, being acquainted with a certain prosperous merchant who would be willing to lend you the necessary amount of gold. But only under the condition that you would be the lady of the house. You would do that for me? I would, Cinders. You are my friend, after all, and I value that more than money. Why did I just... Sorry. Your plan sounds crazy, but if it works, it's your chance to finally set free. I would hate myself if I wouldn't at least try to help it. I don't know what to say, Tobias. I simply don't. Besides, I know all too well... I know you well enough to think your plan may just work. And in such case, I would expect some healthy interest once you get rich and famous. We would talk the details once you get back from the ball. Ha, Tobias, merchant to the very end. What can I say? This store didn't raise itself to prosperity by itself, you know. Oh, of that I'm sure. I'm really lucky to be able to ask you for advice, you know that? I'm always happy to provide it. Just be careful out there, all right? Don't worry, I can feel that for the first time in my life. I actually know exactly what I'm doing. This will work. See you soon. Bye. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. And off she goes. If this were a game of chess, she'd be the queen and I'd be the pawn. Okay, I'm going to pause it and come back when there's a different part. Okay, I accidentally clicked through some of this. I guess he was asking her to be a queen. Okay, so not interested. So interested would probably have that same ending. Yes, please understand, I meant no disrespect for the prince. I found him to be a fascinating and intelligent partner in conversation and dance. And I would be glad to repeat the experience, but I cannot ogle. But I cannot marry a man I've just met, no matter his social standing. All I can be is his friend. If he wants to get to know me better, he's always a welcome guest in this house. We must all concur the prince is welcome to visit as often as he likes. Oh my, this is going to be hard. You are stupid, aren't you? It's not about the pleasantries and etiquette, not even about something as abstract to you as a true friendship. It's the house's social standing. I'm sure this friendship will be of mutual benefit to both sides. I would be glad to speak to the prince again. Please convey to him my best wishes and a standing invitation to visit this house. Okay, I'm sorry, I keep clicking that. And please remember, you are always a welcome guest here too. I do hope you will manage to pay us a visit, should the prince be held by important matters of the kingdom. I will deliver this message to the prince immediately. He will not be overjoyed, though what can you do? You have the right to refuse. But from what I gathered, you may expect to be honored with his visit soon. You've made quite an impression on him. Have a good night, ladies. Thank you, Captain. Good night. Are you insane to refuse the prince? I agree. She chose you over a life of comfort in the palace. She must have lost her marbles. Why? Why did you pass up such a chance? Reviving this household can't mean that much to you. Wouldn't you do the same? I have heard of your choices in the past. And you love us so much you just had to include us in your plans? Believe it or not, you are actually the only family I have left. Not a perfect one, that's for sure, but I understand sacrifice and tough choices for those closest to me, even if they don't. I'm sorry to have underestimated you. I think I've gotten so used to fighting this war alone. But today you have proven not only to be resourceful and cunning, you also understand what this game called life is about. Let me surprise you even more then. Do you remember our talk about this house's money problems? Yes, I do. I think I've solved them. Tobias the merchant offered to lend us a significant amount of money, which we surely are going to need if we are to take a royal guest. His conditions, nothing ever comes free. Of course, he wants interest if we manage to gain honors and wealth through it, and he wants to see the lady of this house. See me, the lady of this house. Reasonable, and a clever going on your side, but not so fast, my dear. You still have a lot to learn. Take a close look, Gloria. Your spot of favorite daughter has just become occupied. Shut it! Uh-oh, poor Gloria. Could we just be a family? I do hope this will open a new chapter in this household's life. I kind of like this ending so far. It sure looks like you've got your wish. Would you mind helping me with tomorrow's planning? More than glad to. I wonder how much longer this ending will be. Okay, I'm going to pause it here again. This is all just repetitive. Cinders finally manages to drastically change her life and retake her residence from Lady Carmosa. She starts a new era for herself and her family. After the events of the Grand Ball, Carmosa recognizes Cinders as her best successor and steps down from being the head of the family. For years, Cinders can count on her support and advice. Lady Carmosa dies at an old age, happy to see her family finally prosper. Oh, she's pretty there. I like that much better than the other dress. While events of the grand ball turn the court's attention towards her, Cinders doesn't really have any grand plans for her noble house. She lives a calm, quiet, and happy life, finally free from Lady Carmosa's plots and expectations. Cinders builds mutual understanding and friendship with Sophia, and they run the house together, thwarting any intrigue attempts by Gloria. See, if I'd been nicer to Gloria, I think all of us would have been happy. Eventually, Gloria marries into a rich merchant family and, free of Carmosa's influence, becomes a respectable host of her own house. Cinders and Perrault became lovers, and he's a common visitor in her house. He resigns from the royal service, but his warrior blood sets him on the life of an adventurer. Years later, he gets heavily wounded in combat with a band of brigands terrorizing a nearby town, and he loses control over his right arm forever. Disability makes him feel useless and depressed, but Cinders' love and support helps him to get through this grim period, and the couple eventually marries to live a long and happy life. I like that ending, though. Oh, I like it. It makes everyone a happy family. Aw, it's a happy family. They're so nice. Yeah, I unlocked a new ending. Got it. Yep, got it. Okay. What's it gonna give me now? I have this one. Okay. Do things, please. For gaining control over your inheritance, you are awarded with a family necklace. Oh, they're on her. Cool.